Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The single best idea in the way we make the sausage is through the show. A couple of the interns are always listening, and they'll decide they see some pithy moment, or I'll say, hey, that was really good, let's do it. And not always, but often we'll have something early in the show that gets pushed aside by something later in the show. Or sometimes you don't see something coming, and it's so profound that you just stop and say, we have to do this for single best idea. And the way this happened today with the world-class Michael Nathanson of Nathanson on streaming, we talked about the horrific fires in Los Angeles and what it will mean just for the Oscars and what it'll mean for Michael Nathanson's industry. But also, his single best idea and the usual, Bloomberg Surveillance chit-chat. But then we somehow stumbled into FanDuel and the other one. What's the other one called? DraftKings and FanDuel. And we stumbled into that. And then Damian Sassar, who's encyclopedic on this with his effort at Bloomberg on Sports, was with us. And so it was just brilliant. Here is Michael Nathanson on some of the worries state by state of our new sports gambling.
You may have thought that everyone you know is gambling and they're spending as much as they can, but we're finding we don't need those states to come online anytime soon, because on a state-by-state basis, there's more per capita spending and the competitive dynamic, right? People started with all types of free bet offers. Those platforms have gone away. Yep. It's pretty much a two-horse market, FanDuel and DraftKings.
Right.
So it's become a duopoly, and the per capita spend keeps going up. And Tom, I want to let you know, I have deep concerns about this as a parent and as a citizen. But it's legal, Tom.
Just fascinating conversation. I mentioned later on about, this is just my old fossildom. I mean, I don't have an opinion on this. I'm trying to not editorialize. But in a college game, I'll see a banner, and down below they have the betting numbers in the banner on TV. And I'm like, is that what college sports has come down to, is trying to figure out what Ohio State's going to do to Notre Dame and vice versa? I guess that's where we are. We continue. Damian Sassar was just absolutely lights out. Michael Nathanson on what we've learned from the United Kingdom and their decades, centuries of betting.
It's interesting. The UK has started to put some real guardrails around this topic, right? So the UK regulators are concerned about just how much ease and how much generosity has been given to bettors, and they've put limits on certain types of bets. So, right now we're in this phase where it's just unchecked, right? And I have to think 10 years from now, Tom, we'll look back and say, oh, we should have done more on regulatory, right? But we're in this golden age of letting the market decide how much is enough, right?
We'll continue on this. This is all of a sudden a theme, I think, of interest here for all of our listeners and our viewers on YouTube around the world. We've advantage of Bloomberg Intelligence. Brian Eggers is with us, who's truly encyclopedic on this. We'll have him on more often here into 2025. On your commute across the nation, on Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, on Sirius XM Channel 121. Good morning in New England. 92.9 down to 99.1 FM in Washington, and Bloomberg 11.3 in New York. We say good morning. Highlight of the day, Putney, Vermont. Thank you, Launch Monachathon, for the maple syrup from the Putney School, where it was 7 degrees this morning. We're on YouTube podcast. Single best idea.